Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab and to today's video, which is going to be my very first Boxycharm unboxing of this year. This is my January box. If you're new to my channel or if you came from my Beautylish unboxing video, welcome. Thank you so much for checking out another one of my videos. I do bring you makeup and beauty related content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 9 a.m. Central, and I would love it if you subscribed and joined our makeup family. So let's go ahead and get into our unboxing. The theme of the box this month is Rock 2018, which I'm hoping we're all planning to do. I received my box a little bit later this month, which hopefully you don't mind another Boxycharm unboxing. Just let me know in the comment section down below if you do like this kind of video and I'll continue doing it. Usually I get my box a little bit earlier. In any case, the first product that came into my box was the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Universal Brow Pencil. This one retails for $24 according to the box and is in the shade Universal Taupe. Now this particular brow pencil is supposed to adapt to your brow color with pressure. So if you have lighter hair color, then you're supposed to apply less pressure, and if your hair color is darker, then you apply more. This is what the product itself looks like, and it's a double-ended pencil. Here it is up close. You see that it does have a spoolie on one end and then the pencil on the other. Now when I went to use the pencil, the first thing that I noticed is that it is a lot wider of a pencil than I'm used to using, and it's sort of oval shaped, and it's supposed to give you better hair-like strokes and a natural looking brow. And I would have to say it probably does give a natural looking brow just because it's a little thicker and a little less precise or defined. I like the shade okay. It worked well with my hair color. However, one of the things that I noticed about this product is when it came time to draw the tail of my brow, I was having a really hard time getting a very sharp line, and that's how I like the tail of my brow to be. It was a lot more messy. I had to clean up a little bit more after doing my brows, and even so, I never really achieved that sharp edge that I really prefer. It was great for filling in sparse areas in my brows, but I don't have too much of sparse areas. It was a little bit harder to do my brows today than usual because of the product that I was using, and technically it shouldn't have been so because I just recently got my brows touched up, and so it should have been easier. And so it isn't my favorite brow pencil. I still prefer my Benefit Precisely My Brow for a higher end alternative, or the NYX brow pencil for a more affordable option. Another thing that I notice about the spoolie is that it's almost the width of the pencil itself, and so when I'm trying to brush through my brows, the pencil sort of prevents me from getting to the spoolie itself. I feel like for the Anastasia Brow Wiz and things like that, it's a little bit more raised and it's easier to use. So I was only able to use the very edge of the brush. So not my favorite, but definitely fun to try out in a Boxycharm. The next product in my box was an eyeshadow palette, and this is the Glam Metals eyeshadow palette by Crown Brushes. According to the card, this eyeshadow palette does retail for $25, and it says to rock your look with the Crown Pro Glam Metals eyeshadow palette. Highly pigmented, ultra blendable shadows make smoky eye looks a breeze. And when you open it up, here's what your shades look like. The shades are actually really nice, but these all have some sort of metallic or sheen to the finish, and so it isn't really a standalone eyeshadow palette. The mirror is also pretty cool because it's in the shape of a guitar. It's gonna be hard to see because of my lights, but it is a really interesting mirror. When I received the palette, I was actually really excited because I saw this shade right here, Rock On, as well as this shade, Pop Rock. They are metallic army green shades, and I really love an army green shadow. And so those were the ones I decided to apply to my lids. I used this palette in conjunction with the Dose of Colors Sassy Sienna's palette because, like I mentioned, these shadows all have a little bit of a sheen and or are metallic, and so I didn't really get a complete look using these shades. The shadows that I did use were these two, and I used them on my lid and on my lower lash line. Before I went into that palette, I went into the Sassy Sienna's palette, and the way that I use this palette is I use this shade as my first transition in my crease, and then this one to deepen up the crease just a little bit, and lastly I use this last shade to deepen out the outer V of my eye. So I use the three shades, every other one in the palette, to create this look. Once I laid down that base, I went into my palette and I used the shades Rock On and Pop Rock on my lids, and they worked really really well. The color was very metallic and intense. I didn't have too much trouble with fallout or anything like that, even though I did my eyes first. And I think that the look came out really nice. I'm really excited. Actually, I'm very impressed with the quality of these shadows. And I also appreciate that they included the greens for sure, but also these bluish gray tones because they're a little bit different. The other shades are a little bit more neutral and wearable, but also a lot less unique to my collection. So I'm really glad to add this to my collection. And yeah, it's a pretty nice product. I will definitely insert clips of me applying the eyeshadow in case you're interested in seeing how it works. But yeah, I used this palette to create the look and I'm happy with the way that it turned out. Let's swatch a couple of the other shades. Let's go ahead and swatch this Rebel shade and the Punk shade and the Wild Thing shade. So there are those three shades. And there they are swatched. Very nice quality, very creamy, beautiful swatches, and I'm happy to have this in my collection. The next product that was in my box was this primer. This is the Luminizer Primer by Dr. Brandt, and I was really excited to try this. This isn't the first time that we get Dr. Brandt in our Boxycharm, but I didn't have this specific primer, and because it says that it's luminizing, I thought it would be great for my dry skin. It says to apply on clean, moisturized skin, use alone for a natural bounce of light, or under makeup to prep the skin for flawless application AM and PM. Along with this product, we did receive a little card with the ingredients. Now, according to this retails for $38 and it delivers a natural radiant glow while blurring pores and imperfections for a beautifully illuminated, flawless complexion. Price of this is $38. That's kind of pricey. It's a little bottle and it has 1 fluid ounce, so I guess that's pretty standard for a primer. When I was using it, I realized that I started out small because when I'm trying out new primers, I'll usually apply just a little bit because I've had bad experiences where the primers begin to pill. And so I applied just a little bit of this one and I found that it wasn't enough. My skin just drank it right up and I definitely had to apply a lot more. But I did think that it gave my face a smooth finish. It wasn't overly sticky and my makeup blended over it very nicely. I'm wearing the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation over top and I think that it looks pretty good. So I'm looking forward to trying this out some more and I'm definitely glad that this was in my Boxycharm because it wasn't on my radar at all. So at this point in my video, I was really happy with the way my makeup was looking, but then I got to this. It's a Bronze and Brighten palette by Pure Cosmetics and it arrived just like this. It wasn't in a box or anything like that, which I found a little bit strange, but there was a tape over the front, so it wasn't like a used product or anything like that. But I am accustomed to receiving the palettes in boxes, so I thought that was a little weird. There's no UPC or anything like that on this one. And I have seen this teased on Instagram as a new product to Pure Cosmetics, so I think it's cool that we get to try something that's brand new in our Boxycharms. So this is the Pure Cosmetics Bronze and Brighten Cheek Palette. It retails for $34 and is an on-the-go highlight, bronzer, and blush palette with 3 skin perfecting powders. According to the card, the Afterglow and the Mineral Glow shades are existing shades to the Pure Cosmetics line, but I definitely don't have them and so I was excited to try them out. I definitely want to show you the inside of the palette. These shades are very, very bright and intense. Your shades are Blushing Glow, Afterglow, and Mineral Glow. I mentioned that my makeup was going really well until I started working with this palette. My hesitation with the palette was the bronzer. It looked very, very shimmery. And let's go ahead and swatch these. They feel almost like creams, and when they go on your fingers, a lot of product lifts up. Hopefully you can see that swatch. They look actually quite chunky and it does pick up quite a bit of product. So I will go ahead and swatch them here. This is the blush, the highlight, and the bronzer, and they do actually go on quite chunky but also quite pigmented. So definitely use a light hand when using this, as I found out when I went to apply them. So when I went to apply this palette, I started with the bronzer, and when I started applying the bronzer, I realized that it started giving me a little bit of texture where I have none. It was applying a little bit patchy, which made it look like texture, and I went in with a fluffy brush and I did try to use a light hand. It is quite pigmented, but it's also a very warm tone tone, and it has very much of a shimmery finish. I wouldn't say that it's glitter. It's not glittery, but it's definitely shimmery, and it's not usually the type of look I go for in a bronzer. I prefer a bronzer with a sheen, but not a shimmer. So it was a little bit much for what I was looking for, and I think that this product would actually be better suited for the summer months. I then went ahead and applied the blush, and I noticed the same thing. It's very pigmented and also just has a little bit too much of a glow. So I guess it's appropriately named, but not my favorite kind of blush. I prefer a blush that is very natural looking, that comes like it looks from within, and I find that this one rather sits on the skin. I did then also apply the highlight, and it is the only highlight that I'm wearing on my face today, and I did actually really like the highlight, and I think that the finish is very nice. I did appreciate the palette a little bit more after I applied some setting spray. When I was looking in the mirror, it was looking like it was sitting on top of my skin. It wasn't melding in, it wasn't blending with the rest of my makeup on my face, and I was worried that it was gonna ruin my makeup look, but I went ahead and I applied a little bit of setting spray, and it did fuse the powders together a little bit more. And then after that, I went in with a buffing brush and I just sort of buffed all over my face to push the product into my skin a little bit more to give it more of a natural look. It's still a little bit more warm than I would prefer, and also a little bit more bright than I would prefer with this kind of eye look, but it's an okay palette. Not my favorite, but interesting to try just the same. The last product that was in my box I was super excited to see. This is the Galactic Matte Lip Paint. This one's in the shade Demure, and it is the lip color that I have applied, and I really like this. I've heard great things about this brand. This is an indie brand, so it's not one that's available on Ulta or Sephora, and I've heard great things about them, but I still haven't yet placed an order, and it was great to be able to try it out in my Boxycharm. This liquid lipstick, it has that cake batter fragrance and a moussey texture, I would say. Here is a swatch of it on the back of my hand, and of course you can see it applied on my lips. I found that dipping only once was enough to do my entire mouth, and the color, it dried down really nicely. It's not transferring. So it's definitely transfer proof and very comfortable. I really like this. This is really nice. It reminds me a lot of the Dose of Colors formula as far as how it wears and how it feels comfortable, and it doesn't start to sink into your lips and make them crack. And I was surprised. I was actually a little worried to wear a liquid lipstick today because my lips are super dry right now with the winter weather we're having, and this was awesome. According to the card, this says it's one of the original liquid lipstick formulas that is still true to its words: lightweight, long wearing, non-cracking, and won't settle. I have to agree with all of that. The retail price for this is $23, which is a little pricey in my opinion, but for a liquid lipstick that is comfortable and performs well, I have to say it's not a bad price. I'm so excited this was in my Boxycharm. I think I'm most excited about this one. Alright, so I've added up the retail prices, and the total price of my box came to $144. Now, as far as how much I would pay for these items, the first item was the brow pencil, and I think that I've seen this on an Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, so I don't think that I would purchase this at full price to try it, and so I think that I would pay $12. The next product was the eyeshadow palette, the Glam Metals eyeshadow palette. The quality is there, but however, I wouldn't have known that right away. I don't think I have any other palettes by Crown Brushes or Crown Pro, so I can't say that I would pay $25 for it, but I would probably pay $15 for a drugstore priced item. The next one was the primer with a retail of $38. I have paid full price for primers whenever I wanted to try them, and I think had I known that this existed, I would have actually been intrigued by it. I would have paid the full $38 to try this one. Now, as far as the Pure Cosmetics Bronze and Brighten palette, looking at this product, I wouldn't have purchased this product just strictly online. I would have definitely wanted to swatch it in the store, and if I swatch these particular powders, I know that I wouldn't have liked the texture. It feels more like a chunky cream. I don't think I would have ever purchased this. It was nice to try it, but yeah, I wouldn't have ever purchased this. Last product that I had was the lip paint, and I'm super impressed with this. This has to be my favorite item from the box. I often purchase liquid lipsticks, and if that's the price, that's the price. I'm really stoked about this. This is a good one. So I added up my prices and what I would pay for the items, and my total was $88, so not bad for a $21 investment. Let me know what you got in your box. If you enjoy Boxycharm unboxings, give this one a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you again very soon on my next one. Bye!